They show up.
Provide funds.
Did they show up?
You say you provide? You thought you said before. No. Before. Sam will provide it. Robert was here, we still pick on him about the donuts, his purpose overall 6 8 months. James, to see what we just nominate him. Okay, he gets lunch next time.
I mean, just open up the kitchen, I'll bring it.
Oh, side. Just over there.
Yeah.
So we did a vote by yourself. You go, no, he's like, yeah, but he was up here talking, we all could serve everybody agreed. Had a second motion. Anybody like to go?
I don't know. Yeah, I'll bring it.
You want to go away, you'll have. Yeah. That'd be good. January, you want to do the state minute? Sure. Okay, I'm here. Got the. Security. I was checking. There were. Sorry, everybody.
Did you say that one?
In the afternoon, I guess it's still more.
East on the street, 485.
Let's go ahead and go over level one. One for a, who can call 911 for? Raise your hand. 911, your name? Blake. Got you down, 911, they be here for the Charlotte Resource Center, 4311 Yancey Road. I need someone to be able to call, who, anybody CPR qualified? Anyone here? Anybody here CPR qualified and don't need to be CPR qualified? Got you down with CPR. The AED is located, if you leave out of here and make a left, should be located down in the middle section up there. Also, go down to an active shooter. It's this, I forgot what it was.
Run, no, avoid the
Avoid
non-defense.
the non-defend. If you're going to avoid, which I recommend you do, that'll be fine. If you're going to defend, we'll stand behind the person that's defending and we'll escape while he's defending. But just make sure you're committed. If you're going to be defending, make sure you're committed. For any evacuation part, the exit is located out this door, make a left, make a right, there's an exit there. There should be one on the left-hand side. There's no room in here to hide for active shooters or windows. So there's some more rooms in there if we need an escape route. If we have to bind down the doors open out. We have to figure out a way to keep the doors from open. All right. So we'll figure that out. Hopefully we don't have no active shooter situation. Evacuation. Since Neely just came in, Neely, I'll get you to lead the evacuation route. Neely will lead the evacuation. I will come behind Neely with the roster. And once we go to our section, we'll evacuate, meet out in the middle of the parking lot. Once Neely has let everybody out there, I will come with the roster, make sure we have a check off list and make sure everybody's accounted for. Also, I know what's going on down here in the next room. I will get with them to make sure they get everybody else out safely. Firearms, everything's located out in the hallway on the right-hand side if we need to pull a firearm while we evacuate. Okay. Any questions on anything? Everybody good? Appreciate it.
Thank you, James.
Has everybody signed in except for James? Oh, James, but he's not on.
He was self-appointed.
Something that's come up, I'm gonna jump around today. I guess we could do introductions. That one's online first, let's do them first. Finish up, everybody signed in here. Online also, just make sure in the chat that you put your name, company, and phone number and email address in there, please. Record of
No, go ahead, sir. They should be able to hear my mouth from right here. I'm Ashley from the city of Charlotte. Brian Morehouse with SNN, Tristan with the city of Charlotte, Shannon Lohman with Probst Construction, and I'll be honest, Parrish Reddick, the famous Parrish Reddick with North Carolina 811. Woo! That's him. Tom Barrett with Sam, Mark Momsen, Teresa Watley with the city of Charlotte, representing the APWA. And I think that's everybody. If I missed you, please say so. AJ Perkinson. Okay, I think that was everybody. Tammy Groves, North Carolina 811.
Maybe in McCall Concepts located service. Mr. Rodriguez, McCall Concepts located services.
Lindsay Fox was Sam and Chair of the North Carolina UCC.
Love the sound.
Like, that's the cable service.
Actually, Direct Carolina.
Yeah, kind of match up.
Jerry Release.
Chief, even happy with Chief Ivory.
East City Charlotte.
From New City, Charlotte.
I'm James Green, risk manager, Piedmont Natural Gas.
Bill Calgary said damage.
I think we got all that out of the way, files. Maybe you won't go through the brief.
Sure. I'm going to skip the first two slides just because of the noise. As Roger said, it is, in fact, April, the very last day of April. We are hours away from seeing May. Safe digging banners are out. If you have need of a banner, please let me know. I know I've got one held back for the town of Matthews, but if anybody else needs one, please let me know. This is what the banner looks like this year. It actually is the same as our billboards this year. Hopefully you've seen billboards up around Charlotte in English and or Spanish. But if you grab one, please take a picture of it and send it to us, and we will put you out on social media as a safe digging partner. Tailgate wraps. For the past several years, we've done sponsored tailgate wraps, and this year is no different. We're sponsoring up to $225 per tailgate of a vehicle that we would ask that is going to be on the road from 3 to 5 years. It's a fantastic rolling billboard. This very happy young man on your screen is from Dare County, and that's what the billboard looks like, or the tailgate looks like. Again, a rolling billboard, just reminding folks to call before they dig. Your logo goes on there along with the 811 logo, reminding folks to call before they dig. April is Safe Digging Month, even though it's the last day of the month. It's been a busy month. We have seen telephone interviews, radio interviews, TV interviews, proclamation signings. I know I did with Parrish a Touch-a-Truck event in Salisbury. We did the Piedmont Natural Gas Rodeo in Wilmington. Saw some folks out there. Did a Checkers event, Charlotte Checkers event. Also, last Friday, I was at the Gastonia Ghost Peppers Oh, well, that's too bad. I'm not letting them in. I appreciate it. The Underground Damage Prevention Review Board met last week, and I'll be honest, I can't remember exactly how many cases Ann said they heard. I know they had somewhere around 87 or 88 on the docket. I believe around $37,000 in fines issued. 15 or 19 people who were required to take Pipes Plus. I know I'm really drilling into the details there, somewhere around kind of close to. I don't have that exact information, so I'm kind of giving you the rough estimate. The North Carolina 811 board meeting met last Friday at Blowing Rock at the Chitola Resort. Didn't miss anything there. I know myself and Brian Morehouse were both there, Brian with SNN. And the LRPC will be meeting May the 21st at 11 o'clock. That meeting will be at the North Carolina 811 Event Center in Greensboro. And there is a Teams meeting link if you'd like to join online. As always, for information about upcoming events, visit nc811.org or the NC811 calendar. You can find both of those on the website or on the app. The app is a free download for Apple and Android users. And we'll get into some numbers. Locate requests for the state for the month of March were up 21%, 267,425. That's a 21.2% increase over March of 2024. And if you'll pause for just a second there, last year we processed 2.8 million locate requests. So an increase of 21% is a pretty big jump. That does, however, leave us for the year at an increase of 8.3%, 729,987 locate requests, January 1 through March 31. Folks, that's 750,000 locate requests. If you go back to 2013 for the year, there were 1.2 million. That work has increased exponentially. Anytime those locate requests go up, transmissions go up. Transmissions were up for the month of March 20%, 1.4 million. And for the year, just shy of 4 million, 3,938,150. And I always like to throw in my little blurb. For every single locate request, there are roughly 5.4 transmissions that go out. That means in this area where I'm putting my mailbox, there might be water, sewer, gas, fiber, and electric. There's 5 transmissions for one locate request. And your utility operators pay a fee for every transmission that goes out that their name is listed on. Ticket volume for Mecklenburg County. For the month of March, new tickets were up 8.8%, 16,724. Total tickets for the month of March, that far right column, total tickets for the month of March were up 13.7%. Total tickets include retransmits and updates. For the month of March, 30,819 total tickets. Year to date locate requests, total for the year, we are up just shy of 6% for Mecklenburg County, 86,368. Ticket distribution, As is typical, most of that work in Charlotte, 24,849 of those 30,000 requests. Next big hitter was Huntersville and then Matthews. Top 10 callers for the month of March. As always, this is not anybody doing anything wrong. I'm just telling you, of those 30,000 requests, this is where my top 10 ticket holders came in. Utility Lines Construction, AT&T, Mears, Ansco, P&G, Prince Telecom, Metrotech, Hyper Networks, Professional Underground, and SEMF. We'll pop over into damages. Damage events reported for the month of March. Mecklenburg County reported 174 damage events for the month of March. And you notice I say damage events. That could be something cut directly in half or just a scratch on the protective coating. So 174 damage events for the month of March. Wake, did you say?
Yeah.
Wake reported 192 damage events.
This is the Mecklenburg UCC. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Parrish. Parrish reminded us this is Mecklenburg. We're talking Mecklenburg. Damage events per 1,000 transmissions. Yep. Here we are comparing apples to apples. I actually want to compare everyone accurately. You know, I said earlier that for every single locate request, statistically, each locate request has 5.4 transmissions. So I'm looking at this to say, hey, just because Carteret County is larger than Dare or Columbus is larger than Carteret, do I expect more damages in Columbus? No, I'm showing you those compared evenly. And that just shows you where we are comparatively across the state with other locales. And then a little graph showing you those damages compared to last year. Your education team. April is National Safe Digging Month. As I said earlier, we've done a lot of events, but running through today is our Dare to Dig contest. If you haven't done this, I would encourage you to do this. I can't join because I work for 811, but folks, it's a $300 pot. If you go out and dig some virtual holes and watch a couple videos, I promise you, I have called both of my daughters and I said, let's get this done. Get your husbands to do this. My niece, do this. Get your husband to do this. Everybody could use a carton of eggs. So $300, it's through today. I think we've probably had about 1,000 folks who have entered that contest. I'm going to give up 5 minutes for a chance at $300, not to mention the fact that, again, 2.8 million locate requests were processed last year. 2.8 million versus 1,000. That's better than a lottery. And that, I'm turning back over to you, sir.
I don't know if it's a good thing. I think one of the biggest issues, I'm put the numbers back up there because that's usually what we talk about. Talk about something a little different this time. One of the biggest issues that's coming across that I'm hearing from people saying everything else is these locates are not getting completed on time. The law states that locators have 72 hours to get things located. coming up as not complete, haven't responded, everything else. That's breaking the law. I don't care how you look at it. And yet they expect contractors to sit there and wait. I looked at one of our tickets yesterday. It's an update ticket that nobody had responded to. We had a crew out there, so we did a 3-hour ticket because we seen things that was there. One locating company showed up. They never hooked up to nothing. The guy gets out with a paint can, paints a double ton, looks trying to line back up with things, throws the paint back on the ground. Tells us the conduit that we're looking for is orange with a black line through it. We always find a black conduit. Didn't even have an orange line through it, probably. He was back down the street. I went back down there and got him. I said, "Is your conduit black or orange?" "It's orange with black." I said, "Well, who's black conduit since?" "Right on his paint marks." "Well, I guess that might be ours." I don't know what's gonna have to happen. Locates are not being located in time for minute. James just got stuff on that.
Yeah, thank you. This is Jim. Keep my natural gas. Yeah, I've seen, we've been looking at that too. But one question, one of the things I've noticed in my investigation, some of my observations, especially when tickets are called in. If there's a large neighborhood, we call in that ticket on that large neighborhood, and we have one unlocatable service. One, can that ticket be cleared? Yes or no? It can't. Can't be cleared. So locators get in contact, we get involved. And of course, there are situations where test stations are put in and they're torn out. But so I understand the dealing on kind of areas will get different. Some areas are better than others. But from 811 state, we have in contract, not sort of half these areas in half where you don't have one ticket covering a large area, because if it's cut in half and I have one unlocatable on one side, guess what? If it's clear on the other side of your second ticket, you can go work. You know, we just spent, and I got to give it up. I think we don't thank contractors enough for things they do. Quantum had a crew on W.T. Harris, Hickory Grove Road. We've been there, I think I was there 5 days last week, and I give it up to that contractor. And unlocatable there. It was cut, test stations were cut by the last contractor that was out there running fiber. Several test stations put another one. They had an unlocatable section. They handled 3 feet across the other side. We'll be there every, trying to get a section they can drill. So I take my hat off to them. Quanta. So if anybody from Quanta out there, James Grant from Piedmont Natural Gas, say thank you for the crew that worked on W.T. Harris, Hickory Grove Road. But what are we going to do about that down the line where we won't have such one ticket covering such a large area? I just want your thoughts on that.
Probably the rent to that's gonna be like the second. There's some things in there on that life of the ticket, some other things, some other changes that's going to benefit both parties. Facility owners, contractors, locators, all 3 parties, I guess you can say. The unlocatables, and just bad as we actually received that on one, reached out to Heath. Quick response on that. They were there, met our project manager out there and was able to discuss and be able to clear that ticket. It's just from a meeting. And to me, that's all it takes is a phone call. We had received an email from the locator that they had an unlocatable certain part of the project. Like you just said, this part was unlocatable, this part of it was fine, but it was able to locate. We contacted Eve, sent a supervisor out there, got our project manager, they discussed it, and we're good to go. You know, and ultimately it goes back to communication, that's right. And a lot of things can be worked out that way. But when you're getting, I'm gonna start, I know Shannon's on here, Shannon may be able to kick you the coattail on this. They track their tickets at a percentage of how many is unlocatable, how many is not been located on time and all of that. I think I'm gonna start doing that too, because it's starting to be a big problem. Not just in Mecklenburg County, but other counties also. I know the parish is on here, and I don't know if anybody in Wade's brought that up or not. I know some of our surrounding counties here in Mecklenburg is having that issue. Not there. And I hate to say this for anybody in communications, but communications not being located in contractor hidden is not going to kill it. That power line that's not getting located, you kill it. That's a problem. I don't know what we've got to do to resolve that problem. Y'all need to look better on it. From a contractor to contractor or anyone else that does tickets, look at them like James was saying, dude, don't make it that big of a ticket, break it up. Don't do tickets that you don't really need. You're not working. Right.
Restricts up to 5 parcels or a quarter mile.
Wow.
So like, the law already restricts up to 5 parcels or a quarter mile, so you shouldn't be getting tickets that way. Sometimes a quarter mile can be a lot, but it also, you know, it's usually one hookup unless you're in a residential, but then you usually restrict 5 parcels. So I guess in those scenarios, somebody should try educating them about like exceeding laws. I see people calling half mile all the time. How did they even get the ticket approved? And like at that point, the only person who could really catch it is 811, and they could perhaps follow up and be like, hey, this is a valid ticket. But what's odd about it is I've done it on accident or put it in that direction and got it later. The ticket still went through. And it's like, well, I don't even get a ticket if I call in exceeding what's allowed. So, and sometimes a few days later, I'll get a notification in the online tool saying, hey, this ticket, we made these adjustments, or this is a concern, but I still have a valid ticket. I still got my response clearance. So I think that would be an education. As far as no conflicts, this week, we had a no conflict that on Friday, they couldn't locate a fiber, needed a new tracer wire. By the time I checked the positive response Monday, it was clear. So it went from unlocatable, to no conflict in a matter of a couple of days. I knew 100% that we were drilling within 3 feet of for 1,500 feet. But I called in a 3 hour, the locator pretty much called me up to shout at me, like, I've already told you it's unlocatable. I'm like, well, somebody's cleared it no conflict. So, but even if you tell me it's no conflict, I still have to call in 3 hours. You have to push the project forward. No one's going to go out and locate an unlocatable line if no one's actively pushing. So the contractor has no choice but to update the tickets. Even if we know it's not locatable, we still have to update it. We still have to call in 3 hours. Speaking for yeah, so it's unfortunate. Sometimes I know I'm just, because you win, but I know I have to go through those steps for my customer, like I said last month. So my customer knows, I know I can't get it done. I can show them, well, I call them a ticket, I call them 3 hours. That's all the law allows me to do. If I don't call them 3 hours, even though I know I can't locate it, then I haven't done everything I can do. And it's not going to be. The unlocatable are going to deal with. Piedmont's the only one that's taken it on and hired a group to deal with the telecoms. Most of the time, it just remains unlocated. And it's like, okay. So 8 months, thank you, thank you. I mean, that's a real effort. I mean, sometimes we don't know how long it's gonna take, but it is progress. I can tell my customers something's working.
Okay, or
I'm saying the answer to me, I ain't gonna ask you. But I guess this is another issue I have, and maybe someone can give me clarity on this. I believe that you said communication is the key. Communication. But if I have an unlocatable on one premise, could be a house service. And I notice where nothing's located because of that one unlocatable sometimes. Personally, I disagree with that. Locate what you can locate. Where you need to locate it. Out of the boundaries of the area that's been called in to locate. Locate, because I've heard concerns of, hey, the contractor start working. If you see yellow marks, he'll go out there and start digging, and you still have an unlocatable on this one premise. Well, communication. Communication with the contractor, and I know sometimes it's difficult, but to me, if I was a contractor, if everything else located and I got this one premise and I know about it, I can avoid that premise. But I can still get some work done. I understand contractors got to pay the group. So those are some things I've been seeing also that I don't have answers to. But what we're doing on the Piedmont side, not only do we have Sam, that group doing a great job talking to contractors, what we're doing to help our unlocables and locators, so we have been adding in extra test stations. Whenever we dig up a gas main, we add in another test station. Whatever is doing that, our operations maintenance department and our design team is also getting involved. So I've been meeting with a lot of managers and stuff, so we can have more areas where we can hook on and locate our gas mains, especially on these road widening projects. So it's, it's work in progress, but we are doing something.
we didn't drill through it though. We're not overbound. But no, communication is the biggest key to it. And I like what you said there, James, is locate what is located. You've got one parcel that's not, then yes, a contractor can work around that, still be in communication until it is located. If it's not asphalt, Sam gets out there and I'll say they get out there pretty quick and get it taken care of. Much as I hate to say it, but they're sitting in here, they are a good group to work with. I don't get a big head or nothing, but
That's
yeah. But no, ultimately though, it still comes down to communication. The facility owners, locators, and contractors, three of us has got to communicate this whole thing to work. At the end of the day, that's what we want is everything to work, everything to go right.
I don't need that talk. Well, communication is great, but I think ways of communication is what needs to be looked at too. Sending emails is might be okay, but if people's not looking at emails, they're not seeing it, right? So making those phone calls, I believe, is where communication is probably. Hey, if you're right, yeah, you gotta have the right information on locate ticket. I'll give you that.
Robert White, you can't go back to the office number or lady in the office or the guy in the office that does the tickets. It needs to be superintendent or somebody like that, project manager, somebody's going for the problem. That is what needs to be put on there.
Well, use all of them. Send an email info.
Do everything you can.
It's documented. I believe when they document it, don't exist.
Well, that's right. But a lot of these emails going out at 11:59. Not to take this to.
That's Joe. Send it.
So, I promise you, I'm not checking emails at midnight. I'm calling at midnight either. Yeah. I'm actually on. Take me a minute. Being mobile. But anyway, and if you want to pop in the numbers back up.
That's a whole, I got you right here. That's a whole nother thing, what you need. That way we can see the folks online. That's months. And you need to blow it up a little?
That was something I looked
What
at.
do you need to know, Roger?
Look,
What do you need to know?
look, y'all gonna get off me on this. Retransmits was backed up. 50, almost 55%.
Flag taking 3 hours is up 27.5, remits is up 54.5. Put those together, that's a big number.
Deals, and that's what I was getting at, is that's all look. But well over 75%, close to 80% of tickets right there, 3 hour and retransmits. I've ventured to say you retransmits is because of these not completes. Oh, Lord.
Somebody else saying over here, we just-
Well, I was gonna say, we need to get James his own microphone.
Got another 50, gonna get it out. Get it out. I think another issue we ought to look at, well, this ain't nothing old, this ain't nothing new. Contractors are working ahead of the ticket. Seeing that a lot more and more. They feel that if I'm only going a couple of inches, or I'm only putting in a fixed post, putting in some, erosion matting or something, I'm not gonna damage nothing. They're working ahead of the ticket. That's an issue. That's an issue. So what's being done about that? How can we, what's been done about that?
Is the locators or the facility on the court that's over to 811 where they can reach out to those contacts, educate on pipes plus. Let's say pay on a business.
Pay him a visit.
And help educate that.
But who paid that bill? Who paid for that bill?
811 can pay on that business.
I'll be glad to roll up. Ask,
Now,
ask Robert.
if they damage something, then obviously the facility owner can file a complaint with the underground people. Repercussions from that could happen.
So a lot of times what I do, James, if I end up going out to make a job site visit, I will, like, I might get a complaint from a utility. I'm gonna take some goodies out. Because I promise you, when that safety fan comes rolling up, people kind of tighten up a little bit. And sometimes I'm just giving them a bottle of water. Sometimes it's just creating that goodwill. Sometimes it's down to educating, hey, your ticket's not good yet, or y'all are digging this, But absolutely, I don't mind, y'all. Let me know. I will gladly make a site visit.
That's it.
For now.
Next week.
The same good about stopping, because we've had them just pull up on our projects before too. Talking with them, I come out, say if they see somebody, they'll stop.
That is one of the biggest things to look for, somebody do early or without a ticket. But it's hard to catch in Charlottesville area.
None of the guys said how much I appreciate Sam response for unlocatable lines. Appreciate that. One thing I was a little curious about. We're always being reached out to contact, trying to find out whatever crew would be on site so they can go out there and educate. Which I understand the benefit of educating our guy on, but wouldn't that resource, because I'm glad they're
trying to do that. Wouldn't that resource be better sent? Hey, when your crew gonna be out there so we can get out there first and make sure everything's properly located? But I can assure you, our crews are being educated on it every Thursday from 7 a.m. to 7:15 a.m. Being pounded into. They can get out there first and just verify, hey, just so you know, we found a line that was marked, we've got, team coming out, we're gonna catch it up. Feels like that would be a better resource for that.
Well, actually, we're doing, weekly meetings with contractors. So we have Heath, we have Sam, we have that contractor online. So we do meetings with Charlotte Water, AT&T, Google, Spectrum, Quanta, Aztec, ACP. We just did one this morning with ACP. ANSCO. We do meetings with all the contractors, and what they do, we talk, look at the situation, we ask them, we talk about unlocatables, who has it and what jobs needed done. They give us their plans, they go out. We've actually had, with Aztec, the Heat guys go with them, and actually Terry had the guy actually stay out there. Sam has had a watch protect out there with him, go in different areas. So we're actually doing everything we can. We're doing that. Me and James actually went to a building. We did a little training one morning, helping with the training. And I went to Concord Mills to go pick up something. And I got a call, hey, Robert, I'm sorry, we just hit something. It was Mark. Before I get down the street, about 5 or 10, I'd say 10 seconds or 2. Later, I got another call, man, I'm sorry, we just hit something again. Same contract, same neighborhood. But I kind of said, well, what we need from you is to say, well, let us know what you're gonna do. What are your steps to make it safe? So they actually sent us some back. So we shared it with our manager about damage prevention. We talked about that. But we've had guys on site with them. He's on site, Sam's on site. And the guys are still go ahead and dig. They said, well, we coming around there before we get there. They hit it, or they may spot something so we can repair it. They hit it. So, we're doing that. We're meeting every day. Calendar on is full. The only day he's not really full is, Friday's full now, probably Monday. What's that? So we're trying to meet with everybody to try to do that. So it depends on the contract all the time too. So, but
I'll put my locator back. And I mean, it's a long time since I was a local. I give you money, you.
Thank you.
It's usually been more than that. All right, from a locator standpoint, I'm doing tickets. I have these tickets to come in, so I'm trying to prioritize these tickets. So if I have a ticket, say that ticket, my last one may not be due until, we'll say, 12 o'clock today. I'm trying to take care of these other tickets. Now, the crew may want to mobilize early, but that ticket still ain't due. See what I'm saying? So, because it's a difficult process sometimes trying to chase these tickets, trying to get them located, trying to cut through traffic to get to this other location, and one of the things I think that we have to be careful of, and I've seen this happen time and time again, we can push locators, you can push them, but you're going to get half the work. No matter what you do, you can only do one job at a time. I'd rather do a thorough job of that. And that's why I go back to communication. If that ticket is not due to 12 noon, and maybe I haven't located it yet, it may be 10:40. Guess what? That ticket still ain't due to noon. You can't do nothing till after that ticket time there, So I think we need to be careful if we start pulling locators from a job, call them and say, hey, I need you to come get this ticket right here. We're out here. This ticket is due 1 o'clock today. It's 11:40 and I don't see nobody. Well, we got to be careful because now you're pulling from another ticket if he's trying to work. Everybody, you know, everybody thinks about their own job. You know, don't care about the money, but they're located and care about everybody. See what I'm saying? So it's a fine line. It's a fine line. I swear that's my last one. That's my last one.
Ain't done yet, meeting ain't over yet. But you're right on that, James. It's, it'd be like me being out there and they're located for Shannon and I'm using him for, and you go way back. But then I call that locator and he has to pull off Shannon's job to come to mine. That shuts Shannon down, right? Just so you can come to mine for why it's not new. So that's not fair to them. And I wouldn't expect him to do that to me. And it's funny you say that because one of our little project managers called me the other day about a ticket. Hey, you need to make a phone call because they ain't located it yet. Did you call it in? Did you put your work there? That's what I told him. I said, they still got time. There's no sense in calling anybody. Because they still have the time. If it's 72 hours, this. Sometimes our own people is our worst enemy. Right. And that's that explaining that won't understand. I know this meeting's been way a lot more track from any of the other ones. But what's important. It is, I like that, but I think this is what's important. Any state is located is really the most important thing that will boost the numbers all the way across the board. Oh, with my own notes, I think. Here, like there.
And I think the other problem is that you guys are locators going out there, but then you guys, when we come in these meetings and what you're doing, you're complaining about the locators not getting located stuff. So we're trying to get stuff done. They're out there doing it. Well, they're in areas trying to get things done, but then you get the complaints coming in. And you know, I get, man, my phone rings so many times. I'm getting text messages now with stuff. So that ain't you this time. That was yesterday. But they're out there, they're trying to do their best, you know, we're stretching them out too, but we actually gotta have accountability on your side too. You know, it seems like when everything's set up, everything's set up. And set up, sometimes the locators, the first ones to get blamed is the locator sometimes. And they're out there, and then we do everything like we're doing to try to meet, to help. But then you still get punished for some reason. So, you know, we're trying to work as a team, but everybody has, you know, they're doing their part. And sometimes the person on the other end is making the request needs to do their part. Because like we said, we got a message where somebody was actually, they call on the ticket, but then go out and work anyway. And the first thing they say, well, I don't give it, you know what? Because we have to get this done. We hit something, we hit it. So if they're gonna hit it, the first thing they're gonna do before they do it wasn't located. I had a 6-inch hit. Yesterday, I got a call where they came in early that morning, 4 o'clock. I got a call at 6 o'clock. I need to be in Matthews. I get down there. First thing he said, well, you know, the line wasn't located. We didn't know it was there. And I'm walking down the street and I called them. I text y'all real early. So they can look at the tickets and actually they pulled up pictures, 3 digs showing that it was marked. But when I get down there and I'm looking, I got a 6-inch. He shut down 485. You're rerouting traffic. I see locate marks on either side of it. And then actually on the wall itself of the bridge, just old marks. He didn't do his diligence going down and walking and looking. And then I told him, I'm sitting there explaining everything, and he keeps almost, well, this. I said, did you do any, I do call destroy marks in? Did you look right now? I said, I'm looking at pictures right now with marks going through here. And then I had to go through and explain to him. So I went to my truck, got some literature and guidelines for 811, the guidelines in Spanish and English, became pre-digs, the dig stuff. And then when he walked through it, he actually looks at it and said, hey man, and I understand now. I'll look at this. You go through, they actually came out here and paved this road. This wasn't there before. And the road where the local Marks Road was like, if they use it as a road to bypass the traffic. But if you did due diligence, we would have shut down 485. I gave them my contact information. I gave these guys, these two guys over here, he got their contact information. Said, if you out here, if you doing anything before you dig, if something doesn't look right, call myself or call one of these guys. They'll be right here. This is their area before we won't shut down the highway again. You know, but if he would have did his diligence, went down and walked, we would have shut down the highway and reroute traffic and, you know, out of the lane. So everybody's got to do their part too. Yeah, he's gonna get a big bill.
I venture to say that, was that contractor local? That contractor doesn't attend UCC meetings. That's obvious by you having to educate them out there on that project and give them literature and everything else. Now, you stress, and Blaine, I seen what you put on LinkedIn first of this week about attending UCCs and all of that. But Blaine advertises these things. So for someone to say they don't know about it, I just find that hard to believe. And if we all in here and ones online can take hour and a half, 2 hours out of their days once a month to attend these meetings, everybody else can too. And that's what it's going to take, really, is until we start getting more contractors, more facility owners in these things to where these messages are getting out, that are still going to have issues like y'all had yesterday. And
One of the reasons we don't get better excavator participation is because over the last couple of years, I've had a number of come with me, and they usually attend like twice, and they're like, most of the utilities aren't even there, like other than Piedmont, Google, and, you know, Duke sometimes, it's like, they're like, Spectrums aren't here, the AT&Ts aren't here, I don't know if USIC here today, for a while, they weren't attending. It's like, if we don't have if they're not attending, why would an excavator, you know, and they basically said, man, it seems like a good concept, but what value are they getting it other than listening to Roger talk?
I'm going to bring that up and locate their solution. First pass.
Yeah, like
They're usually at those, so I'm going to bring that up.
somebody from the AT&T, Spectrum, and Segra, they should be here. The Jody Kiker, I'm sure you know, they should be in the room so they can hear it. PRG should be here. Like they, yeah. I talked to them enough, but they should be here because they need to be educated on the law because they don't know it. Like we are constantly getting berated by them for a job. I've been fought with them for 6 months over a utility where they keep telling us, we hit a line, you had locates in the air. I'm like, yeah, so did 8 other utilities. I said, look at your picture. What hit that line? The water line. I said, we are STS cable service. Do you think we installed 24-inch water lines? Does anywhere in cable service? Right? I mean, they have harassed us. They've sent it to all of our customers. They're like, well, we don't know which customer you work. So they sent it to multiple customers. They've sent it to our insurance. We sent them cease and desist. Everything. Every week we have to fight them off because they'll send us a bill because we had to locate. It's like, God, I argued with them for a year at Pearl. I was like, I had a job. It got canceled. You can call the utility and verify. I never excavated. Well, you called it in 3 hours. I said, yeah, because I was trying to prepare for it. Last minute, the job got canceled. So we didn't build. Like, call the utility. You know, it's somebody else hit it. And then, like, I know I'll get Saturday. We were doing a soft dig on Graham Street. And as soon as we cracked the asphalt with the core drill, we could smell gas. And we did a soft dig and we discovered somehow we had happened to just core drill straight down and go down 3 feet. We just found an old abandoned valve that wasn't feeding anything. And it just happened to be where we picked the spot up. And it was leaking. It was kind of whisper. And we called 911, we called Piedmont, they came out here. And they told my operator that they had to wait on site until PRG got here. No, this ain't a utility damage. This is a discovery. Like we reported a damage to you that's probably been here for 12 years. like, on Graham Street at 6. And it's like, I'm like, why would I wait for PRG? But if we did it, I said, no, get off the block, we're out here. And I'll bet anything by this meeting next month, I'll have an invoice for that repair, because I had to locate and I reported the damage. But I will always report the damage. But I shouldn't have to pay repercussions of chasing them for months, where they'll harass me, they'll probably end up sending my customer an invoice saying that we damaged something, but no, we discovered the damage. And we also discovered a water leak that weekend too, doing the exact same thing, but our back truck didn't damage your line. But we'll get an invoice, we have located.
To be fair, you can probably do it.
Wait. And this is the thing, hey, well, no, I want both of them to pay it. And then we'll come back next month and then question will get what do you do with that extra money?
Well, this is.
I thought you was through.
So, if you ever uncover, we have a grading system, right? On leaks based on migration where they are. If there's a danger like the problem. If there's a valve that you uncover that's an existing leak, don't call them as damage.
Well, we could call it indefinitely. We don't say the word damage, we just say there's a leak.
Right, and so they should recognize that's a valve, some valve, you can pump, reset it, breathes, and stops it. It's just been to tolerance. To us, every leak we will respond to, but we classify when we get it. It was a hazard not. Like the problem, was migrating to a building, manholes. But I guess just explaining what you find.
Well,
Very, very important.
and we do, but in your texts are not the problem. Like your guys respond, they're cutting up with it. But we just know the moment we hear PRG, but dispatch, we just know we get a bill. I'll bet you. We joked on Monday at our office, we had a gas leak on our valve at our office. And the whole building stuff, gas, we had to call team on, they spent 2 hours trying to figure it out. We joked, we're probably gonna get a bill for that, for PRG, for responding to a utility damage, because they're gonna see STS cable services and gas, and they're gonna send us a bill. Probably not on that one, but on
Yeah,
that.
generally, previous hand. PRG has their contacts, so to investigate, for example, it was one of our contracts for years, even if they did. And they dispute. Yeah. And they'll send it to someone on the side, say, could you check this out? You look at this. That person will do the homework, I'll get information, something. Me or someone else, it's not my role, to get information back to PRG. You know, this is what it is, or what they. They can absolutely.
Yeah, the PRG, they are unnecessarily difficult. And I know you gotta be aggressive if you're gonna get claim things, but I mean, just sending a bill to everybody that has a ticket, that's not an investigation problem. Yeah, and then, right, then they'll demand that our investigation, but we didn't do an investigation, but we didn't damage it. Like, why would we have an investigation for something Roger did? Like, or we also get, now we're kind of rambling, we'll get dispatched to a utility damage, or we gotta go repair something for one of our telecom, and they'll send us a bill because they saw our trucks on site. It's like, yeah, we were responding to the same damage you. Well, you didn't have a locate. It's like, we were responding to the repair.
Yeah. Investigation. Yeah, I'm not gonna get on my soapbox. We don't have the rest of the.
Do you have any opinion on it?
Let's get up. Yeah.
Fill the number.
Yeah, we've done that. I know that Lindsay wanted to bring something up, but it wasn't on presentation.
The most important event coming up got left off.
It
did.
Once you
Why,
say
but then
same
is that
thing.
like forcing me to talk?
Yeah.
Yes. Cheerful too.
Yeah.
So yeah, the most important event coming up is the joint North Carolina, South Carolina UCC conference. It is in 2 weeks in Wrightsville Beach at the Hotel Lumina. We are expecting around 300 people for attendees. The hotel is sold out, yes, and the most important announcement for today is that if you have not registered yet, registration is cutting off tomorrow. Because we need to get hotel final counts on meals and things like that. And the other thing I would like to mention is, be on the lookout for parking information being sent out if you are not staying on site. It is, gonna be a little interesting. So we are working to get all of the information on parking, and we will be sending that out on the constant contact. As well as the finalized agenda will be posted here probably by the end of the week. So any questions on conference stuff, come see me, call me, email me, whatever you got. I have an answer for you. Thanks. Roger needs a reminder, it is May the 14th to the 16th. I'm more important than like beach. Whichever one he goes to.
We'll move in the advantages or anything got anything
Tremaine, one call concept locating services. Out of those, 30,000 tickets we received, we only got, 9,700 of them. That's all. Yeah, closed out 9,600, closed on time is 82%. And, 0 damages for the month of March. City of Charlotte.
trains.
Yes, sir.
The east side.
Everything is so.
I'm used to 70 seconds. Everything at the beach. No, sir. Come to you. Why? Understand why?
All right, so as I normally do, I have, damage count for natural gas damages. This is for the month of March, the April tickets, the data has come through. So for March, there were 51 gas facility damages. Breaking that down, the top 3 damages were facility was marked due to incomplete marks at the location. 2, excavator dug prior to verifying marks, test hole or 5 hole. And the third one, no notification made to the 2 issues that are, I should say, the 2 entities that have had the most damages is the excavators and the locators, whether it was internal or external, whatever. Anyways, the percentage of the damages to the excavators was 49% of the 51 damages to excavation and 37% of the damages to the location. So, good news is, what's good news? Assuming what we, each year that we've had this damage prevention program where we got the Watch Protect, SAM, TRC, working together with P&G and Heath, that program where we all work together. Each year, the DPT number has gone down, the damage per thousand. So far this year, we're at 1.68 in North Carolina state. And last year, whole year, we were at 1.84. So we dropped even from last year, currently 1.68, which is wonderful. So each year we've worked together as a unit, you know, all of us working, we communicate, we've heard all these words. Things are working. We still have problems, but things are working to get better. And I think that's important to not just tell everybody you're bad, But whatever it is you're doing, we still have room for improvement, but you're making things better. And I can't thank you all enough for doing all that you can, even though things still need to improve. We've made things better as a unit by working together the way we're trying.
If it wasn't contractors hitting the gas line, so that the gas company knew where it was, so that the locators were located, numbers would still be going up. That's the reason they're going down, stuff now we're finding everything.
Oh, are you? Or are you just not recording?
We did just about everything.
But no, it is, that is good news.
Yeah.
And it's not always contractor and locators' fault, it could be facilities owners' fault for not having it on the maps.
So that's a different column. Seriously, we have a column for that too.
It's still full circle, and it's all of our responsibilities to protect what we can.
Yeah. Sure.
That is good news to hear that number's going down
Every year.
so that is a plus. It still comes down to everybody working together. That's what it is. And if you see the sign of something, do the 3-hour ticket, come out there, make a phone call straight on.
See something, say something.
That's right, that's right. Anything else I add? Yeah,
It'll be 0.68 next year.
that'd be great to say.
Wonderful.
That'd be real good, but we won't have here to swallow that one.
And Mark, Charlotte Water, our crews get 7 spectrum lines. 6 at fault, 1 not at fault. 4 P&G lines, 2 at fault, 2 not at fault. 7 AT&T lines, 4 at fault, 3 not at fault. 2 Duke lines, both of them were not at fault. And 1 Google Fiber, they were at fault. As far as our facilities that were damaged, we have 23 water services, 7 water mains, 2 sewer mains, 11 sewer laterals, 1 meter, and 1 storm. That's pretty boring.
Okay. I'm sorry, it's just,
Yeah, very boring.
you got anything to add?
Let's go.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just.
So I'm sure all of you may have heard about the incident that occurred Thursday in North Carolina. That's not flagged force, it doesn't even matter who it was, but 4 people lost it. You know, in just a split second, 2 of the linemen were up in the buckets and they were airlifted to the hospital.
Yeah.
I cannot emphasize enough how important it is for safety. Safety, safety, safety. I have buried a employee, but I will never do that again because the effects that you carry as a human being. And I had worked with some of them over the years with Flagger Force. You know, they have since left my area and went to other areas. My job, my employees' jobs are to protect every single one of you guys. The community, our customers, our fellow and flaggers. So this week, myself, safety director, my AVP, all of us is all hands on deck. We are supplying all of our flaggers with whistles. We are supplying proper PPE. I have purchased a bunch. We're getting a lot of night jobs too, by the way. I've also purchased on Amazon headlights that goes on your hard hats. We have ordered chin straps for the hard hats. We are doing everything humanly possible to prevent any incidents in our work zone. Our work zone consists of the first advanced warning signs to the very last. Does not matter what's in between. So I hate to bring on bad news, but guys, it is so important. We are so well trained in getting our job done because that's what we have to do. We have to hurry up, get this one done, so we go to the next one. And that hurry up puts us in unsafe positions. Our clients, I've been out speaking to my clients, the foremen, the general foremen, the supers, VPs of operations I've been meeting with. Stop ordering bare minimum. If bare minimum, really gonna save your person's life. Let's start thinking about this. Bathroom breaks. We're humans. We all need to use a restroom. Somebody just to have our backs. With that being said, and I'm hearing everybody with these locates for Black Forest to low. From Poplar Tent Road, the contractors, I will have 29 more crews coming over the next 3 to 5 weeks that we are working. That does not include any other traffic control companies. There's a lot of companies that are coming into Charlotte. We are gonna see these numbers double to triple. Be ready, because we are not. I'll be honest, we're not. The state of South Carolina, a lot of their work, and those employees, those contractors are going. So be prepared, be ready. Also, I will tell you, due to the incident, we are seeing Duke representatives, inspectors, DOT guys, they're coming out, they're checking flagger floors, they're checking the clients as well. Get your folks on board. A whistle, a 25-cent whistle could determine 5 seconds if your people get out of the way. Just think about these things. What happened on Thursday has affected this whole entire industry, from North Carolina to all over. I have been in so many meetings. I don't even know what I did this morning. So it's just been that intense. When one person suffers, we all suffer. And I hate to do this, but this is why I come to these offices. This is why I'm here. I don't care if you use Flagger Floors or another company. Please make sure that you trust them to put your life in their hands. I fired 4 people this week. You're not going to revive them. I'll find somebody else. I've got time for the BFC. So just saying, please just be safe. Do not emphasize it.
Can we get some 811 whistle?
These, pretty wide open, low gauge. We're hiring, they're putting 5 through now, is experience, so got some experienced people coming in. We're also talking with Bo and them, do the fair trace wire stuff to Charlotte area. Help speed up that process a little bit for, other contractors and stuff. So yeah, we're wide open, so if you need anything from us, always reach out. Robert Neely's, whatever Robert Neely needs to take care of. All as quick as we can possibly get out there, whether it be another supervisor or whoever go out there. Like he was talking earlier, we've had a locator on site with a fiber crew in their duration of their project. Be out there. Anything they find out that maybe they marked, mismarked, paint's faded away, whatever, we're on site right then and there. And that's something we're going to start doing a lot more. Any crew that has a few damages, we're going to start putting people with them and start helping out with that process as well, so we can actually locate it on site. They should be hopefully complete their project without damage. So, but all I got.
Be here.
Of course you do.
I'm James Jr.
James, you should have killed him young.
I have 4 cups of coffee. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, what he just said, they got a locator on site. With they on site, we've actually had Sam on site. So with both guys on site, we actually, that contractor was having the damages went down. And they actually asked for one of those guys to be out in Union County. Unfortunately, we're not in Union County. Piedmont is, but our guys aren't in Union County. But he called and asked for one of their guys to go out, the Sam guys to go out. But with those guys working together on site, if the Sam guys see something, he reach out to the heat guy, they come over, they calls me, and I said, man, go ahead and stop them, tell them to wait for the heat guy to get there. So it's been working out. We actually cut down on that one contract I hit twice in one day. So, but they reach out and we've been working. That's our damage prevention effort with Sam and Eve and myself, James and Joel. We've been kind of, we're working on it. We just have to, new people come in and they just have a different mentality. We have to kind of change.
I will see if anybody online's got anything. Christian says he doesn't have anything. Thank you, Tristan. Parrish, you got anything you want to add? Parrish may be somewhere else.
No, I'm trying to find the mute button, but yeah, we're good to go over here. The issues you guys are having with locates, it's happening across the state of North Carolina. I can tell you that. With getting them within the 3 working days and then requesting a 3-hour, it's an issue. A lot of folks, especially in some of my areas, there's 2 locators for the county for the water distribution system, and one of them's a supervisor. He says, you know, they bring drill crews in here, 5, 8. He said, we can't even stay in front of these guys. They do a subdivision and they're gone before we can get out there and do the first locate. So it's happening everywhere.
All right, buddy. Thank you. Thank you for being on here.
Yes, sir.
Shannon, you got anything?
No, sir, I'm pretty good at the moment. I think good.
He's okay.
Okay. Brother, it sounded like you were down in the bottom of a barrel trying to talk there.
I'm sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's better.
Sorry about that. I'm saying, we're okay at the moment. We're not having any issues.
All right, well, thank you. Ashley?
Hey, no, thanks. Nothing for me. Everything's going okay. I know sometimes we're having issues with our locates getting completed. So if you ever do have an issue for CDTO1, which is the City of Charlotte Fiber, feel free to reach out and we'll get somebody out there for you. Thank you.
Teresa?
No, all is good. I love the dialogue today.
All right, thank y'all. I think I got everybody.
Yes, sir, you did.
Okay. So does anybody else have anything? Next meeting.
May 28th. May 28th.
May 28th.
I'm 99.999% sure.
Today or what we're gonna do?
Oh, I know where we're gonna be May 28th. Well, y'all, Parrish and I will be at an event down near Wilmington. Charlotte Water. Yep.
It's on food.
Yes, sir. General Commerce.
May 28th. Charlotte Water, General Commerce.
Yes, sir.
I got anything else? Thank y'all for being here. Be safe out there. We'll see you next month.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for the feedback. Thank you. Really
Yes, sir.
appreciate that.
Glad you're here. How are you? It's good to see you too.
I'm doing well.
Yeah.
47 different jobs, but now back into this.
You know, whatever pays the bills.
Yeah, it's all with legal fiber, but now working on national programs. So one of those is related to what we call outage task force. So we do reviews of any damage larger than two customers or two customers impacted. And then we're doing kind of postmortem investigations of what caused it. And then of those postmortems, we're coming up with recommendations of how to resolve, prevent, et cetera. And one of which is like just learning more about, it's crazy, 51% of our damages are caused by our locators. So that's a big nugget of, and it's, most of it is not mismarks. It's more of they slam the lid on the vault or they move the cable out of the vault, damaging cables and fibers. So.
You know, if you ever need anything from my end, say the word, you know, if there's something that I can provide to.
I think the biggest thing for us is just our program of getting things recorded back into dirt.
Right.
And then whatever damage reporting needs to happen at the county and state levels, we're just got to get our vendors into doing that because they're not doing it today.
Yeah.
You know,
So-
the dryer
Yeah.
stuff.